Okay, it's live. Okay.
All right. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Good evening and welcome to this edition of the Parrot Show. From here, we join Parrot Peter Owina to discuss issues that affect our people. Today, I think we are very privileged to welcome a number of people, guests who are joining us. First and foremost, we'd like to extend a very warm welcome to Reverend Father John Bosco Ezehi,
Thank you very much.
Who is joining us all the way live from Uromi, Edo State of Nigeria.
Thank you.
Today also we have the Public Relation Officer of the National Institute of Construction Technology College in Uromi, Edo State. And also today we know that our topic today really revolves around the recent happenings, especially the spate of kidnappings, insecurity in Uromi and Esa land, particularly the kidnapping that happened in the new college situated in Uromi. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to dive into this with our guest. Mr. Kingsley Okwegwale is here with us live on Zoom.
Thank you very much, brother.
Andrew Lucky Igberaise joining us live. Anyway, you are joining us all over the world. We have the privilege to have your attention and your participation. So we hand it over to our host, Mr. Peter Owina of Parrot Productions and Parrot TV. Peter, take it away.
Thank you so much, Clement, popularly known as Omo Boy. It's great to be here again talking about Edo State, talking about Esa land. It's something that we are very passionate about. You remember that about a month or two ago, we gathered here to talk about the same situation, the security situation in Esa land. And since then, a lot is going on, a lot has happened, and it's still happening. So we are very happy again to meet again to talk about the same challenges that we are facing in Edo State, facing in Nigeria, but in particular in Esa land. As you must have heard, wherever you are, that there was some people were kidnapped in Uromi about 2-3 weeks ago, fortunately, from the school, the higher institution, Institute of Construction, Technology and Management. A staff was kidnapped and 2 students. So that has been very challenging and unfortunate to the people. So, and you know, people there are living in a state of fear. They don't know what happens next. We hear of other situations, those we cannot confirm. And, you know, we are just hoping that this kidnapping will be the last. But whatever happens, we have to put structures in place to ensure that situations like that don't reoccur. So fortunately for us, to give us, to brief us on the situation in the school and around the school, we have the PRO of the school with us. And we also have some subject matter expert in security arrangement with us that will be briefing us on what we can do to actually reassure our people that they are safe. Like, you know, the government cannot do it alone. The government would need the effort of the individual, the citizens to join with them to really have a complete success in the fight against insecurity, in the fight against terrorism, kidnapping, whatever you call it, rape, and killings that are beginning to happen all over the country, and is spreading to the south now, spreading to the south. When they are driven from the main city, they are coming down to the villages and small towns. So, and Esaland happened to be a fertile ground where they will want to be. But we are not going to allow that. We are going to fight with everything that we have to ensure that Esaland does not become a place where criminals, where terrorists come to stay and launch whatever operation they want to their nefarious activities. So if you are from Esaland, if you are from Edo State, we would urge you to go on YouTube, on Parrot TV on YouTube, on Parrot TV on Facebook, and Parrot TV on Instagram and Twitter, and follow us. But if you do want to join us, I guess that as we go along, we will publish the password and the user's ID that you can use to join us. So that's where we are. Thank you, everyone. We are just kickstarting, like Omoboy said, and we would want to start with the PRO of the school. How are you doing, PRO? I really want you to to introduce yourself, and then we can take it off from there.
All right, thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be here. My name is Incho Edward Ejesi, the Public Relations Officer of National Institute of Construction Technology and Management, Uromi.
You're very welcome, Mr. Victor. We can hear you very clearly. So we read in the news. Sorry, Edward. Edward, okay, Mr. Edward, thank you very much. We read in the news with horror, shock, and disgust what we have been seeing happen all over northern Nigeria was now reported to have happened in Uromi, with the story of kidnap of students and a lecturer from the Institute of Technology, Construction and Management Studies. So was that the case? Was the media wrong? Was that a fabrication?
Well, there are some certain issues I would like to correct here. Well, the media was not wrong when they say that there was a kidnap incident on the 10th of March in our institute. But the area where they got it wrong is where they reported that a lecturer was kidnapped and some students. And in some other news, we hear that about 3 students, and in some other news, we hear that many students were whisked away. What happened actually was that some gunmen suspected to be Fulani herdsmen, according to eyewitnesses, and also according to those who were kidnapped, their side of the story, they lay ambush on our students who were writing their second semester examination. So they were able to whisk away a staff, non-academic staff, and a student, and not a lecturer and 2 students as the media reported.
Yeah, but he was a non-academic staff.
Yes, non-academic staff.
Well, he's a staff of the school, and
yes.
The student, 1 student now, not 2.
Yes, 1 student, not 2.
Well, that's fine. Thanks for the correction. You know, so that's fine. That's fine. So, just run us through what exactly happened at that point in time.
All right. On Wednesday, the 10th of March, at about 3:45 p.m., when the students were writing their examination, and the 2 students at the permanent site, which is along Amedoshan Uboha Road, some suspected herdsmen lay ambush within the school premises and started shooting sporadically in the air, and they succeeded in whisking away 2 members of our community, which I've earlier said, a staff and a student, into the bush. But the good news is this: we have been able to rescue them through the joint effort of security forces and collaboration from the management. They were able to be rescued unhurt from the hands of their abductors.
Okay. So when you say rescues, people have been asking me, was ransom paid?
No ransom.
And
No ransom was paid.
Can we take that for a fact?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Because people have been asking if ransom was paid. And, you know, nobody can answer that. But you are here now. You can tell us if
Yes,
ransom.
yes. Just as I've said, no ransom was paid. You know, shortly before the kidnap activity or incidents that happened in my school, the National Security Advisor to Mr. President came on air and said that the federal government will not and does not negotiate with terrorists or bandits. And our establishment, the NICT, is an establishment of the federal government. It is funded, managed by the federal government. So we cannot pay ransom. We will pay. Since the school is being managed by the federal government that have said the government does not negotiate with terrorists. So, and this incident happened in the school premises. So we did not pay ransom to anybody. So what happened was that security forces were able to rescue the victims unhurt from the hands of the kidnappers. And I think that is a plus to the security in that area, especially community policing, which is done by the vigilante.
Okay, the vigilante, they were of help to you people.
Yes, they were from the beginning of the incidents.
Okay. Oh boy, you want to ask a question?
So, very telling. When obviously the university, the college got wind of
Polytechnic.
Sorry.
The Polytechnic.
Excuse me.
Polytechnic. You said Polytechnic.
Yeah. So when the Polytechnic authorities, you got wind of, you heard of this incident. Did you hear from? How did you hear? Did you hear like we heard from the media, or was it reported to the university, or was a ransom demand made?
It was not reported. We were around, I was around, but not at the permanent site, just as I've said, that our academic activities we started our academic activities at the permanent site early 2020. All academic activities are done there. So when the incident happened, we didn't hear it from the media. Some persons who were in the vehicle that they were attacked inside the school premises called us. They reported the matter to the authority, and the authority swung into action immediately. Even the rector, Engineer Professor Exo Onohabi, who was on a very serious official assignment in Abuja, have to return immediately to Urumi. And we started the rescue mission immediately, just as I've said, through the help of the vigilante and the area commander here and the police division in Urumi here. They all collaborated to ensure that these victims were rescued. So we didn't get the report from the media. I quickly granted interview to ITV, Man Around Town program, also Channels Television, NTA, to correct some of the false news that were going on, saying 5, some say 5, some say 3, some say they could not even say the specific numbers of persons that were kidnapped. So I corrected all those things immediately. So we didn't get the information from the media. We have the first-hand information.
No, that's fantastic. I mean, we first of all maybe just commend the Polytechnic for prompt action, for engaging with the necessary and available authorities, the area commander and the vigilante. So that brings me, to probably introduce, other elements into this conversation, which is really around the role of the current role and structure of the ongoing local security network, which is the vigilante network, of which we discussed in this with Reverend Father John Bosco in a very in a very long conversation about the activities of the local vigilantes. How is that working, and how did that work? Maybe if I might bring Father John Bosco into this conversation in relation to supporting and ensuring that we had a really successful outcome with this unfortunate case in the Polytechnic.
Well, thank you very much. With this particular case, I heard the PRO saying that they worked with security agencies and they were released. I would be very interested if you can tell us how the release was done. Very interested. You say you didn't pay ransom. Did you just go in there, attack them, and get them out? How did you release or get the? Because I'm very interested. How did you do that?
Well, yes, sir. Father John Bosco, I think that's a very valid question, which all of us, I mean, we were jubilating when we heard that they have been released. I think it was less than 72 hours. So all of us were very relieved all over the world to know that there was a successful rescue. So the valid question really is that you engage, but have you, from the university, from the Polytechnic side, was there a debrief of the victims or the security agents or the vigilante that were involved? How were they able to successfully negotiate this obviously very difficult matter? That's for you, the PRO.
Okay, thank you very much. Just like Father John Bosco really asked, as I've said earlier in my opening speech, that the federal government, through the Office of the National Security Advisor, have said that the government will no longer negotiate with terrorists or pay ransom to any criminal elements. And our school, the Polytechnic, situated in Uromi, is an establishment, is an arm of the federal government, funded and managed by the federal government. So we did not pay, to the best of my knowledge, and to the available information in my hands, I am not aware of any ransom paid. So all I know is that
nobody's asking you if
yes,
ransom was paid. I said no ransom was paid. How did it happen? No, because we are very interested, and you know, these things we pray doesn't happen again. If anything happens, we want to know how you were able to do it. So next time we hear of anything, we can. We say we are aware that they took them inside the bush and they were there all night, next day, and all that stuff. How did it happen? You can tell us the details of how it happened. How were able to? Did the federal government send troops from Abuja into the bush to get them out? Do you have was there soldiers, police, Mopo? And those guys in the bush, how did it happen? How did you negotiate? Well, I'm interested. I want to know how you're able to do it. This is just us, Urom Esan community. How did it happen? Educate us. I want to know.
Okay, thank you very much. Just like I've said, that immediately the incident happened, the security forces, through community policing, which is the vigilante, and the area commander, swung into action, enter the bush and ensure that these victims were released, that they were rescued from the hands of their kidnappers. That was what happened. They rescued them from the hands of the kidnappers. That was what happened.
Did they get the kidnappers? Did they get the kidnappers? Did they get them?
No, they didn't get the kidnappers. You know, when
at some point in time they released them, they abandoned them. Was that what happened? Was at some point in time the kidnappers they ran off and abandoned those individuals? Was that what happened?
They entered the bush and brought them out. That was what happened.
So they met them where they were? You see, we are talking to a community like this. Listen, it is good to come with facts. I think this will help us, you know, for the future. It is very important. Those who organize this program, they know what they are saying and what they are doing. It's just to help us. We are all working together. So there's no need to start quoting the federal government. The federal government is trying its best. But like Ogina said at the beginning, they're overwhelmed. we all agree that they're overwhelmed. That is why in Edo State, for instance, the governor is collapsing the vigilante to have one. And then all hands are on deck to ensure that we have one central vigilante. So you guys contacted the vigilante, they did their best and all that stuff. Negotiations were on, other stuff, things happened. I'm not saying you paid ransom or how it happened, but when you come in to address a committee like this, don't insult people's intelligence. You are the PO of that school. So you prepare yourself and come in here. Tell them you just went in there and they just rescued them. How? If you got them from their house, you get those people. You have overpowered them. All that. Those people were left there. Those people one of them had bruises and one had back to one. They didn't have strength. So how did you rescue them? So that is just a question for that. Let me answer my brother who asked me some questions about the vigilante. As far as I am concerned, my efforts with the vigilante, the association and groups is to try to harmonize them. Here in Esaland, we discovered there are pockets of vigilante in different communities. And we just felt that if Esaland has to be protected and effectively, so we must have one united vigilante. We started the program, if you look at my back, we have Esa Perception Quality. And that program gradually led us into these security issues, and we kept having our Monday meetings. Eventually, we stopped making our program live because it became more and more serious. And we're able to involve persons like my brother who is here, Andrew Lucky Berase. He lives in France. He's an expert in security personnel. Some other persons like DCP or Lumese in Abuja. We have our brothers from Ogina is one of us. He's part of our team, and we've been trying to put them together. We got lists of the vigilantes from different communities, and we've compiled them. We sent a copy to the security advisor, the governor's security advisor who has a list right now, and we're still working on the list. And we're trying to put them together so they work together, and they're going to have training. And just because this is live, I actually wish that this was not live because it's security matter. And I think that are not real truth. I actually wish it was not live, but that's all I can say about that. They are working and trying to see what they can do to harness whatever opportunities, privileges, positions, and abilities, how to synergize. That's what they're doing this time. So on security matter, I would suggest that you don't go live. You don't go live. Even on this program, don't go live. So you could have, the real stuff. You want stuff. You don't go live anymore. Because talk about the protection of our people. And you are speaking English here. So, and Esamare, Makizesa, Ada go live, and working here water at the mayor will get matanya. It was a matter. And what I do so, while working here water, I go live, and I blame them on the vina, and they can't do mathematics. So, because would agree what I'm here, and they go live, security matter, about go live. So I was going to say that to Gina at the beginning, but he had already gone live. But I'm sure if you still go off live, people will understand. You workers and they understand. Maybe how do I want to switch off live? Gina, where am
Yeah.
We are where I want to the program now, where I invite one and switch off live.
Okay. All right.
But you're going other that Tebalu would have made a value that time. Ebioke Sanlu, Egbenemu, Ebere Pepeye, make it a mark more away. Metaboloni, otherwise, air that trust him, Metaboloni.
Okay.
And we are working here, water. Would I go live? My always going to meet whoever my go live is some man's own meeting. Where Metayana? That's all I want to say for now. When Father making what I made at
all right. Okay. All right. Okay. We are going to kick it off now. We are going to live.
Father John Bosco, thank you very much for that